I always wait for the hush to descend and for someone to start taking a bite of their meatball salad.
I would dare you to wait here. Wait.
Well, there are other people eating, so you are in good company. So for those of you who I haven't sort of met properly, my name is Karen August. I am the manager of membership stuff here. This is Chad, who takes care of the marketing and advertising piece that some of you opt into. So he and I can pretty much fix you up. This Lunchbox Learning Seminar is generously sponsored by Bell. And they sponsor this as part of our sort of professional development aspect to Chamber membership. It's a different topic every month, and the people through here are always different because you're coming to the topic. The networking bit that you do is up to you. And I am really, really happy to welcome Butter Web Design. This is, from what I understand, a really sort of enlightening piece, and I think you said that people would have something to take away with them that they could practically do. So
hopefully.
That's
the goal.
So thanks very much for coming, and there's going to be a Q&A at the end. So over to Ryan.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so the challenge with this presentation is that it is very technical when you start to get under the hood of this stuff, but I'm going to present it in a very beginner-friendly, easy, approachable way. So I want people to be comfortable asking questions whenever they want. Throw your hand up if I'm talking, and I'll do my best just to pave through those uncertainties and just get mobile traffic to your website. So the topic here is your website ready for mobile traffic? The original title was, is your website losing? And it wasn't informative enough for the chamber to market properly because it's so vague. But that's the real question here is your website losing? And I'll try to get back to that and explain what I mean by that in a second. So we're Butter Web Design. We specialize in this. It's the idea of taking what we know from history, and we're going to talk about history for a second here, taking what used to look really good on something like this and making it look just as good, not quite on this, but on this guy here, right? So everyone's familiar with smartphones. And you'll see that I've got a note here for Grandpa's $3 Yahoo search, and this is probably my earliest memory of a mobile-friendly experience, and that was with Yahoo. I think it was probably early 2000s. He pulled out his phone, and it was him showing off to his grandson, and he goes, hey, check this out. I've got the internet on my phone. And I was like, blown away. What do you mean by that? And he has this little blue world icon, and he used the touch pad to like navigate to it, and he clicked it, and he did a search. It cost him $3 through, we'll say Rogers, because it was expensive at the time. It was a novelty thing, and he was one of the, you would call them like an early adopter of using the mobile internet. And it used to be that the internet was only like really viewed on these machines that we see on the left here, these computers, and that was what we're all grown up with. Everybody's used to using the internet that way. And what we're seeing now, obviously, is an explosion of mobile traffic, and it's happening quietly. So people tend to feel kind of guilty about, oh, I don't know enough about mobile friendliness, or I don't know if my website's mobile friendly. The point of this is that it snuck up on everyone, even the web designers. No one was really anticipating this massive adoption of the internet through mobile devices, and yet it's explosive. So let's see. What does mobile friendly mean? Does anyone have an idea? Anyone want to risk an answer for me before I get further along here?
Format your website formats to your whatever cell phone you're using.
Precisely. So the website formats to the device you're using. So It used to be that, we'll just do a little drawing here. This was your website and it was static, and if it was that shape, it could fit on your computer because your computer was that shape, right? You've got your sort of rectangle and that was fine. And now, because we also have screens that are a fraction of this size, you've got your little phone screen and you've also got your tablet screen. All of this content that used to have all of this extra space now has to reformat to fit into this. So what that means is content that was on the right-hand side originally would just get cut off, or you'd have to use your fingers, scroll over and look at it. But now the code lets you take all of this stuff and it intelligently just throws it underneath, and you've got this nice reformatted width for a tablet. And if it's a phone, it knows, okay, let's just stack everything up on this width, and then you can scroll nicely up and down on your phone. So that really simply is what's happening in the code when we're looking at the formatting. So, which one do you think is mobile friendly? The one on the left or the one on the right?
Right.
Yeah. So, if your website isn't mobile friendly, it's trying to take this rectangle, right? This original rectangular static size, and it's saying, okay, let's just get all of this on the screen and then rely on the user to pinch and magnify and try to find things like the navigation button and the news items and the slideshow. And it's not a good experience for the user. We've all probably been there because we're all a part of the group that's being guinea pigged through on mobile friendly. So, not good, good. And one of the telltale signs is this collapsible navigation bar right here, and that's what the next slide is going to show. So the real telltale sign is the navigation something that is easy to use? Can you get to all of the content on the website easily by finding this guy, clicking it, and then it expands open, and you can click on the other links with your finger, right? So no longer do we have that precise little mouse cursor, we've got these blunt evolutionary objects that we're using on technology. So that's the game that designers are playing right now, is how do we get fingers to interact with all of this code. So here's the test, and if you have a phone, I encourage you to take it out now, and this is probably the first time during a presentation that we want you on your phone. Okay, perfect. Awesome.
This won't do anything.
You can't access the internet on that?
And if I know.
Okay.
I use mine as a phone, and that's what I use it for. I don't,
That makes
and that's part of being a dinosaur.
Well, and that's, I mean, I kind of like them too because you flip them closed, you know it's off.
Yeah.
So as soon as you start talking about somebody, when you're done the call, you know it's not still in your pocket. So get your phones out and try to navigate to your company website. And let's just have a look at what's coming up, because I want to see if we're working with designs that are mobile friendly, or if we're looking at sort of older static designs. And then naturally, if you want to write down or make a note of the computer test, I mean, for me, it's always the best thing to do to look from your phone, because that's the direct answer to, is it mobile friendly? Yes or no? But from the computer, you can do this as well. Google's provided a tool to determine mobile friendliness.
You can also just Google mobile friendly test
Yeah,
in the Google search bar and it'll come up.
yeah. So we're all doing some device testing right now. And this is something that web designers do, and it's something that creative firms do, where you just pull up the website and you see what you start with. Is it does anyone have their site loaded? Are we having? Are we good? Okay. So, show of hands, do we have any that are mobile friendly? Okay, great. Oh, lots of them. Awesome.
Kind of working on the website developed right now.
Yeah, I think this might be it. It's supposed to launch today.
Oh, really? Awesome. And then another way to test is once your website is loaded, if you are able to scroll side to side and see content that was hidden previously, it's a problem. You want everything to be on the width of the screen, everything loading nicely up and down. And then also have a look at the navigation and see if the navigation's easy to use with your thumb or finger. Yeah, exactly.
Navigate it.
Okay, so I just need one volunteer because we're going to talk about jelly beans. We're going to need a volunteer who didn't have a mobile-friendly site. One volunteer who didn't have. So you're not mobile-friendly? Okay, come on up.
You don't have to do it.
You don't have to do much. This is for the extreme simplicity of things.
No, you don't need your phone.
Don't need the phone, just need you. And the jelly beans. I'm actually going to cover them up for a second. You won't hurt it? Okay. Perfect.
I'm gonna bring it over there.
Yeah. So this is a technology talk, but why not talk about baking a little bit, right? Okay, so for the sake of this demonstration, we are going to talk about these jelly beans. There are 14 of them in here. And each of these jelly beans represents 1 million users. So, one jelly bean, 1 million users, 14 of them in that glass. That glass is 2010. So we've got, in 2010, 14 million people using the internet via mobile devices only. So this is the traffic that isn't going to find your website through a computer. 2015, that traffic has increased. 788 million people using the internet through their devices only. These are people who aren't using computers. They're using tablets, phones, things like this. So this is what's happened to your website that is no longer mobile, or that isn't mobile friendly. And I will pass this to you because this is your website.
Okay.
And this is what it's doing. So we'll bring you over here.
Alright.
And I just want to make sure everyone can see this, so I'm going to move that out of the way for a second.
Okay. Over this.
Wait, okay, so before anything happens, we're going to describe what's happening.
Alright.
Because it's a complicated set of ideas, but it's a simple demonstration. So, to repeat, the jelly beans are your traffic. These are people who are trying to find you. This isn't just random people coming around on the internet. These are people who know about you or want your services. This is your website. So you've set this up to receive these people and to give them what you want. Wait. Okay. You got a hit already. So these people, woohoo! That's great. You've got someone on your website. So the people who stay in the spoon are the ones who actually came to your site, got what they wanted, contacted you. They were a sale, they were a conversion. So let's see what happens. Okay, so one of them was supposed to stay. So one stays when we were practicing at home last night in the kitchen. We always had one or two.
We were too successful.
Yeah. So let's have a repeat of what happened here. So we've got one of these jelly beans stayed. Most of them, the vast majority, these are mobile users. They hit the site and they immediately, without even hesitating, just gone. They bounced out of the website, and that's an actual website term. It's a bounce rate. So this old site has a high bounce rate. Okay, so your demonstration is complete. Thank you very much. You can take
Do you want
a couple jelly beans if you want for your service.
Okay.
You're good? Okay. Okay. So now someone whose website is mobile friendly? Yours was mobile friendly? Oh, was it? Okay. Perfect. You want to come up and help us out for a second? Okay, perfect. So, just to review, this was a website that it's old, it's static, it's not mobile friendly. Let's upgrade the technology. Let's give you a website more representative of what yours is doing. Same demonstration. Let's see what happens. So still a couple bounced, but the vast majority were held. The website did its job. It's a much better tool. And all of that traffic is now yours, and you can keep those.
There you go, sir. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. So, I'll get the slides going back to the way they were, and that might seem like it was an extreme demonstration of, this is absurd, how can this spoon be doing such a bad job and this spoon be doing such a good job? But we're going to go into the stats a little bit here and just see that it's actually very accurate for mobile traffic, not necessarily just computer-based traffic, because a static site, and by static I mean like this one that doesn't flow to fit on the phone, that site's going to look all right on computers, regardless of the screen size, as long as it's sort of bigger than this, right? Mobile traffic, though, the traffic that's explosive, the traffic that's increasing dramatically, is the traffic that we're talking about here. So here is the mobile-only traffic. This was the small shot glass of 14 jelly beans, and that larger stat for today is the jar of jelly beans, and this is in 5 years. Next. And in case we were concerned about the trend and the direction of things, you can see the top sort of darker line is your desktop traffic, and because the colors aren't very clear here, I'll just tell you which one is mobile. So this slightly lighter blue is your mobile traffic. So this is the rate at which mobile traffic is increasing, and this is the rate at which computer traffic is increasing, which makes sense because the world is becoming more modern. People are getting more computers and more phones. They're just getting a lot more mobile devices faster, because you can buy one computer, but you can buy a phone, maybe 2 tablets, a second phone when you drop yours and you break it. So like people have multiple devices, right? And if I just kind of draw like a loose line here, it looked like 2014 was the year that desktop traffic was overtaken by mobile traffic. Mobile-friendly advantages. So stating the obvious here, but you're getting a vastly superior user experience when your site is formatted in a way that it can be used by someone on a phone. Very important that they can find the navigation and that they can find what they want, because in the slides that are to follow, we're going to see that people don't have the patience that they maybe once had, but if they go on a site and they don't find what they want instantly, they're gone. They're like the jelly beans, they're out of there. Faster load time. Without getting too technical, the images on a mobile-friendly site are smaller. They're served intelligently, so the browser knows, okay, the website knows this person is coming from a phone. I can give them this little picture to look at that's 65 kilobytes. And then when that other person comes from their giant 27-inch monitor in their office, it goes, oh wow, they've got a big monitor. I'll give them the 140 kilobyte image. So that's the state of technology right now. You're getting intelligently served images depending on the device that you're browsing from. And it increases load time, and that's important when you're paying for your data. Lower bounce rate just talks about, again, the jelly beans. This is a low bounce rate. It's actually a bounce rate of 0. And this is a high bounce rate. The majority bounced out of the website. Improved conversion rate is, again, as a result of people finding what they want and doing what you wanted them to do, if that means reaching out to you and calling you via your phone number, or maybe clicking on something and signing up for a mailing list, or buying something. These are things that you can prompt them to do through a mobile-friendly design. And this is where it gets a little bit urgent, and we'll talk about this on the last slide, but on April 21st, the Google algorithm is going to change, and it's going to create a higher value for whether or not a website is mobile friendly in their ranking. So right now, everyone's been getting away with not being mobile friendly, and now Google is like dropping the hammer on us and saying, you've had a number of years to get your stuff together, and on this date, April 21st, we're going to say that there are enough websites out there that are mobile friendly, that have jumped on this and are taking care of it. We're going to direct traffic to those websites. And the ones that aren't, it's up to them to get up to speed. And again, competitive edge, we're just talking about better tools. I mean, if this is what you have and this is what your competition has a competitive edge over your site for mobile traffic. And here are the numbers, just to reinforce the jelly beans not being an extreme example. So I'll just kind of point to the ones that are popping out as being the most important on the screen. So right now we're looking at if content is not optimized, so not mobile friendly, the user will leave. They'll just get out of there. 79%, so that's huge. That's 80% will just search for another site to complete the task. So they won't even look at what you have. They'll just be like, oh, this site looks horrible. I'm just gonna find one that doesn't look so bad that I can use on my phone. 80%, that's master, that's just monstrous, you need this. And then this is just abandoning the task. If the site isn't optimized, you're 5 times more likely to do that. So those are drastic user behaviors that we need to be aware of and that we can solve with a mobile-friendly site. And these are, again, we're just looking at the size of these numbers. 96% of smartphone users have encountered sites that weren't designed for mobile-friendly sites, or mobile-friendly devices. This is just saying that the internet is an environment right now where it's not necessarily super friendly for mobile users. It's moving in that direction very quickly, but if 96% of smartphone users have come across a site that's just brutal on your phone, that just kind of tells you the state of things at the moment. And then again, this is kind of the same stat. If they didn't find what they wanted, they'll just go for another site. Here's one that you want to care about. The 48% of users, and you can look at his face, feel frustrated and annoyed. So you never want your brand to be frustrating and annoying people. People are spending a lot of time working with their employees, working with their systems, and making sure that they've got good customer service, and they're following up with follow-up emails, and just catering to the customer and trying to deliver a good experience. And if you're still neglecting your mobile traffic and creating this 48% feeling of frustration and annoyance, this is a big gain that can be made with just converting your site to a mobile-friendly layout. 52% less likely to engage with the company. Again, this is just looking at your relationships with your clients and saying, can I afford to just have 52% of mobile traffic be less likely to engage with me? So this is more of a shopping thing. You can see that people are really using their phones to shop. They're using their phones to buy things, research things, look for restaurants. So if you have a restaurant, or if you're in an industry where you're selling something like, I know Kijiji and not so much Craigslist, but Kijiji was really quick to go mobile because they know that people are driving up to the cottage and it occurs to them that they want a giant inflatable duck for their grandkids to swim around in the lake. So they're gonna pull out their phone, and right then and there, when they have the thought, they're gonna try to buy a duck from one of their neighbors. And it's gotta happen on their phone, it's gotta work. People are shopping on their phones, people are researching where to eat on their phones, and a lot of them are doing that. You're not gonna run upstairs to your computer in the office to look for the restaurant. You're gonna pull out your phone and do that and complete that research that way. This is, again, the local businesses using phones to find and buy, and just, it's integrating with life now. We're finding ways to use the phone to make our research easier, to buy things, to research things. Very obvious. I'm gonna skip through this stuff. Everyone gets it. Sources for the stats, so I'm not lying. Do you want to write these down? I'm not lying. Google ranking. This is the exact quote. So starting on April 21st, expanding our use of mobile friendliness as a ranking signal. This change will affect mobile searches in all languages. So you'll still get your traffic from the computers, but the mobile searches are the ones that are just going to fall off the map if you're not set up for them. In all languages worldwide, significant impact on our search results. So this is direct from the Google blog. And now, the end of the presentation. This is, if you haven't gone mobile, these are your options. If you have more time, but not so much money, you can use a WordPress template. And what that is just, it's a free service. You go on WordPress, and it's gonna take a lot more setup, it's gonna take a lot more learning, but it can be done for very minimal costs. You can buy your own domain name, or if you already have one, you can get your service provider for your hosting to install WordPress right under your domain name, and then you can log in. And again, these are a lot of steps, but that's what the more time part of it is. If you have the time to invest, you can do this for next to free with a WordPress template. And if you have more money to invest in it, but less time, there are designers like myself who can do this for you and save you the headache. And that's the end of the presentation. The rest of it I will dedicate to questions and anything you want to talk about. I'm going to just close this.